Did you get your name?
Don Hellyer. It's
Don Hellyer.
Donald Randall Hellyer.
Where were you born and raised at?
I was born in Pierce, Colorado, and I was raised in Colorado until about 15, then we moved to Idaho.
What was your family background, your educational background?
What background did you say?
Your family background or educational?
Well, my dad's side, they were all sort of educated people, school teachers, so forth. My mom's side, they were kind of gypsies. They were famous for, like, the Sandwich Islands. Her relative was one of the commanders of the ship. Lewis and Clark was related to her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As far as being well-educated, it was my father's side. But Mom's side was a colorful history.
Let's see. At the time of the war, were you in a relationship, married, or single?
I'm sorry?
At the time of the war, were you in a relationship? Were you married or single? Or
I was single.
you're single?
I was only 18 years old.
All right. What did you sign up for the war and join in just on?
I signed up in Boise, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
Took my boot camp training in Farragut, Idaho.
Okay.
Then from there,
And you were in what branch?
the Navy.
Okay. What was your job in the Navy?
Well, I was trained as a radio operator.
Okay. What did you do there?
Well, then they shipped me overseas. Then they gave us special training into high-speed reception, something we didn't learn in the United States. It was like teletype. And you learn to read the teletype and type the code off of that. And there was only like 20 of us that did that.
Mm-hmm. And you did that on board ship
No,
or on land?
I was attached to Kincaid, Admiral Kincaid, and
Mm-hmm.
MacArthur's combined chief of staff. So I wore Army khakis, slept in Army tents. The entire war, I went through New Guinea and the Philippines with the Army. It was our job to send back intelligence to the headquarters, you know. But when you talk about intelligence, I had nothing to do with that. I just got the code. I have no idea what I was sending back or anything else, you know. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel about working under Admiral Kincaid and
I'm sorry, sir.
how did you feel about working under Kincaid and MacArthur?
Oh, I love MacArthur. I thought he was just great. And Kincaid, we didn't have much to do with him. He was mostly bull Halsey and stuff like that, our information, you know. But Kincaid didn't hear much of. But MacArthur, yes.
All right. What locations were you at there? You said something about New Guinea?
Well, in New Guinea, we landed in Manila Bay, which is the most lousy place in the world. It rained all the time, mud, and you had everybody there got jungle rot and what have you, but not me. Then from there, I went to Hollandia.
Where else did you go to? Where else did you go to?
Well, Hollandia, and then from there we went into the Philippine invasion. Leyte, Luzon, well, the first place, Subic Bay, Leyte, and then later on Luzon. But Luzon was pretty much over with by the time we got there.
Let's see, it says you got a medal, a Bronze Star.
Yeah, that was kind of a fraud in the Navy. Well, really, I never fired a gun all the times in the war. Japs never fired a gun at me. I just happened to be in the war zone, you know. Mm-hmm. They'd take us into the war zone to send back the information, you know. So I was no Rambo.
Let's see. Also says you got a Liberation Medal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody got that.
How'd you like working as a radio man?
You know, oddly enough, The type of radio man you're talking about was, you know, did da da did that. I got all that completely with this new branch that they created, you know, for the high-speed reception. And it was mostly with teletype, where they could, like a radio operator can send 30 words a minute, maybe, that's a big deal. With the teletype coming across, my golly, it'd be maybe 200-300 words a minute, you know.
Wow.
And they could read, but we didn't even learn that till we got overseas, because I guess it was kind of secret, you know, that we were using it.
Did you develop any friendship during your training, or during
Oh,
your
yeah. But see, our group was small, maybe 20 of us, but I lost track of all of them, you know. But yeah, we were pretty close-knit, you know.
Did you have any friends or family that were in the war, or did any service time during the war there?
Did I have one?
Did you have any friends or family that did service time during the war?
Yeah. When the war broke out, my dad was a cattle rancher, and so he, you know, there was 4 boys. He couldn't keep us all out of the war. My little brother was too young to go, so Jerry stayed home, and Jack and I went to war. Well, I don't know if you can sense of this or not, but when I was overseas, I got a letter from my mom. I'll never forget it. My dad had a prize bull. This old neighbor pulled up his pickup truck. And my little brother's 8 years old. He answers the door, and the old neighbor said, "Is Dad home?" Lyle said, "No, he's at an auction, but he'll be home real late. Can I tell him something?" He said, "No, I just want to talk to him about my daughter and Jerry." My 8-year-old brother looked at him for a minute and says, "Well, Dad charges $25 for the bull, but I don't know what he charges for Jerry." Now you may want to censor that.
How did you feel about being in the war?
Pardon me?
How did you feel about being in the war?
I'll tell you how I feel about it. I think it's the best thing in the world ever happened to me, and to all of us. Most of us kids were just farm kids, you know. Probably hadn't been away 50 miles away from home, you know. All of a sudden we're shipped out, and with hundreds of different guys, you know, and we go wherever they tell us to go. But when my branch of service, there was a lot of officers, and they were educated from like City College of New York and so forth. And damn it, I was smarter than they were. So I said, well, when I get out of here, I'm going to be a lawyer, and that's what happened.
That's good.
Now, this is going to be a terrible interview, isn't it?
Now, you were a boxer in the Navy.
Huh?
You were a boxer in the Navy?
Yeah.
Let's see that picture there. Does that
Well-
show up on there?
Oh, yeah, we'll just show it to the camera so we can put it on.
Instantly,
I'm gonna watch this.
this is what it looked like when in the Navy.
Yep.
Raise it up, right in front of your face. Raise it up a little bit, a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, right in front of your face.
Hold up just a little more.
Put it right in front of your face.
Over there?
Yeah,
Yep.
go ahead. And you zoom in on this. There we go.
Keep that.
Yep.
That's good.
Now you can see what the war done to me. Look at me now.
What other pictures did you bring in there with you?
I don't think that would show up, Phil, would it?
Will it show up well if we hold it up there?
No,
In the center?
Yeah, a little bit. That's actually right there. You want to talk about that picture while I'm holding it?
You want to talk about that picture a little bit?
Was that him?
Go ahead and talk about that picture a little bit. You got it on.
Tell us what's going on in that picture there.
Well, that was, I don't know, someone took it before I went into service. But, see, I used to box before I went in the Navy and in the Navy. But I want to show you something here I'm kind of proud of.
Can you hold that up in front of your face there like that?
Okay. Talk about that a little bit.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, this commendation from the officer stating I was one of the best high-speed operators they ever had in the base.
One of the best high-speed operators they ever had.
Yeah. Of course, I think he may have lied a little bit.
Okay.
What's this picture here?
Oh,
Hold it over a little higher, there you go. I'm going to zoom in on that. Okay. Talk about that.
when I was in the Philippines, I found this family near the base, kind of out in the jungle a little bit, and they were just starving to death. So I went to the cook in the mess hall. He was a really nice guy, and so he gave me bread. And every morning I'd take him bread. I wondered what happened to him after I left. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Incidentally, one that not in this picture, but they had a son that had elephantitis.
Mm.
And in those days, there was no doctor, no nothing, you know. So when he died, I went to the Radio Shack and got a great big box they put a transmitter in, and we made him a casket. And I never forgot that family.
It's a beautiful story.
Well, they really touched me, you know.
Yeah. And you said you had an uneventful service, but...
You what?
I said, you said earlier you had an uneventful service time, but I think you probably touched those people's lives pretty strong there.
You know, it's a shame that maybe it's better that I don't know what happened to them, you know, who knows. Because I felt so sorry for them, you know. It was real sad, the war. But you said, asking me how I felt about the war. Actually, it's a hell of a thing to say, but probably the best thing that ever happened to us, those farm kids, you know? Because every one of them, all my friends that went away from high school and so, all of them got through college and did something with their life. Otherwise, they'd have been back on the farm digging potatoes in Idaho, you know? So no, it wasn't too bad.
How did you feel about it when the war ended? When you heard the news about where the VE Day, VJ Day?
Well, I'll never forget that. When we got word at the Radio Shack that the war ended, I was running to tell the guys, and there's an antenna sticking down from the tower, and I ran into it. And I was sober, too. Yes, we were quite excited about that.
Is there anything about your wartime experience that you would want to share with future generations?
I'm sorry, sir?
Anything with your anything from your wartime experience that you might want to share with the future generation?
Yes. No more war. I'll tell you why I say that. Over in the Elmore building, there's a fellow there that was on the aircraft carrier. He's still fighting the damn war. You know, he's always got tapes and putting on the CD, and the best thing you do is just forget about the war, you know, and just hope to God no one else. Right now, I'm so angry at our own country. We're trying to be the police for the whole world. We can't be the police for the whole world. And we're spending billions and billions of dollars fighting over there for what, you know? They'll keep fighting after we're gone. They want to kill themselves, that's their business. But we can't be the policeman for the whole world. Now that's my lecture for the day.
Well, that's important to have that.
Pardon me?
That's very important to have that.
Well, I feel that we can't be the world policeman. Now, incidentally, who censors this?
It's not censored.
Some sense.
Well,
Goes out like it is.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe I should rehearse this when I came.
Well, you know, the raw truth is what everybody...
I'm sorry, sir?
The raw truth
You know, during the war, the Japanese, towards the Jamdist, they caused me to have nerve damage to my hearing, and it really didn't get real bad till by 1984 and 85. Then I had to quit practicing law, because I'd go to court and the lawyers would be so damn sneaky, they'd whisper to the judge, and I couldn't answer, so I said, well, I'm not representing my client properly, so I quit.
And that was from wearing the headphones and getting a jammed signal, or?
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay. Is there anything else I should ask you about?
I'm afraid not. Get
Are
me
you
wound
sure?
up. I don't know when to shut up.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Is there anything you'd like to add to anything that we talked about, MacArthur, or
No.
anything like that?
Actually, I have no bitterness toward the Navy. I felt they were very fair to me. I went through the whole war. No, the jungle rot, malaria, dengue fever, none of the diseases from nothing. I came out like a rose, except for my hearing. So I'm not bitter about anything.
That's good.
Like I said.
All right, sir, thank you very much. It was
Now,
a
when you
pleasure meeting you.
when you get that censored, let me know.